Welcome to Webinar Wednesday. As a CFO, being able to analyze your data outside of your ERP system is important. Today, we're going to look at dashboards in SSRS and Excel refreshable reports, working with income statements with a tree and management reporter, sales forecasting using Excel reports, and a cash flow statement using management reporter. Let's get started.
Let's take a look at some options for viewing your data without tying up one of your Dynamics GP user licenses. GP offers many out-of-the-box refreshable Excel and SQL reports, including sales, purchasing, and financial dashboards for data analysis at a glance, AR and AP aged trial balances. You can see your payables, receivables, and monthly checkbook balances, and you can do it all without signing into GP. Let's jump right into a demo environment to see what these reports have to offer. Here we have side-by-side sales and purchasing dashboards. Use them to quickly reference key information for your company. Slice it by years, quarters or months, and also drill to detailed information from links on the dashboards. A financial version of these reports is also available to filter your raw transactional data into COGS, revenue, income, and a dashboard itself. While they aren't as flashy as dashboards, reviewing your receivable, payable, and bank transactions is still quite practical. Switching focus to SSRS reports. Please bear in mind that we are looking at default reports that can be customized for your needs, from simple formatting changes to parameter and query modifications. Summary and detailed GL balances are available, with sort and filter options. SSRS reports can be exported to a variety of formats, though some formats will be more legible based on the report design. Receivable and payable historical age trial balances are also included and have many fields to be filtered to quickly find the data that you're interested in. Finally, SSRS can display charts too. Here's one quick example, the checkbook balance by month, so you can see what's in your bank. I hope you enjoyed our whirlwind tour of dashboards and data in Excel and SSRS. For more information on deploying these reports or building custom reports, please reach out to Profit Business Group. Thank you.
CFO reporting, income statements. Want to see your income statements by division or department? Would you like to show your income statement with locational data that's not in your GL, but you can infer that data? Make use of management reporter trees to show your financial statements and achieve this. I've launched Management Reporter, and we're going to have a look at my departmental tree. Here I'm linking out to my company and naming my departments. I have Department 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Department 5 through 99 get consolidated. In my link to my financial dimensions, I can then say anything with department blank has no department, ending with department 00, 01, 02, 03, or 5 through 99. Those link to those layers of my reporting tree. Looking at the report then, we can generate our report, and we can then print any or all of the departments on our tree. The screen output is then going to show me my departmental income statement. I can see the summary of all my units. I can name this in my management reporter. So I could say consolidated by department. I can flip between Department 1, Department 2, Department 3. And I'll be able to see all of these different levels within my tree on screen. If I export this to Excel, I can export this current view, and I'm going to ask for all of the levels within my reporting tree. So I'll switch from current view to all reporting units. And then inside Excel, I'll get a tab for each of my different levels. Now, if I want to have data on my tree that isn't part of my GL, if I can infer that from my GL, then I can still add that into my tree. I'm going to switch to my Canadian operations tree. And here I've said that Western Canada is made up of the Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC. So my Western Canada is a roll-up of those particular divisions or departments or locations or whatever segment I'm using inside my chart of accounts over in GP. Switching to Eastern Canada, I can then pull Ontario, Quebec. I can do the same thing Maritimes. So each one of these Western Canada, Eastern Canada, Maritimes, Northern Canada, they're not inside my GL. And I can still get them into my financial reporting tree. As we know, I can have more than one company inside my reporting tree. So if I need to do consolidations by region, and I have different companies in different regions, I can pull those different companies into my reporting tree in different regions as well. Let's see this in action. So I'm going to generate my report again. And when the report comes up, I can flip between my different reporting sections and see that my net income is changing based on every reporting section. Again, I can send this out to Excel if I want to. So looking in Excel, I then get a different tab for each element of my reporting tree. Here's my consolidation, my Western Canada, my Eastern Canada, and then inside each of those you can see each of the different reporting elements that made up that consolidation. As you can see, financial reporting trees inside Management Reporter will allow you to slice your data in many different ways, and not just based on segments or areas of your GL. For more information about Management Reporter or Profit Business Group, please visit our website at www.profit.ca.
Financial reporting for the CFO. As the CFO, you need ways to make better business decisions. That's why you need to understand your sales forecast, because having predictable revenue is one of the ways you can make these sound business decisions. You can easily do this in Microsoft Dynamics GP by looking at sales orders and future requested dates, and then leverage the power of Microsoft Excel to build the sales forecast. Let me show you some of the ways this can be done. So in Microsoft Dynamics GP, we can pull up a sales transactions smart list. This smart list has been restricted to sales orders. We've added columns that are useful for us in our sales forecasting, like the document amount and the requested ship days. We can then export this to Excel, where we can present the data into a more digestible format for CFOs and other decision makers in the company. Then we can put the data into a pivot table we're going to grab customer name and the document amounts. Let's format this so it's easier to understand what these numbers are. Okay, so here we have all the expected sales currently in the system. We probably want to be able to make this a little bit more date sensitive. It's more useful that way. So we're going to insert a timeline. And we're going to insert a timeline based on the requested ship dates. Now, someone might come up to you as the CFO and ask you what kind of revenue we might be expecting for April in 2027. So you can go ahead and just click on April here. Now, what makes this really great is that you can slide the timeline so that it encompasses more than one period. So if somebody said, what about the second quarter of 2027? All you need to do is use the slider to cover April, May, and June. As the CFO or as any senior executive responsible for the financial actions of your company, it's likely you don't want to tie up a GP user license when forecasting sales. The good news is you can skip logging into GP and export into Excel and just open a pre-built Excel worksheet that you can use and reuse every time you need to report. So let me just close out of there and open my pre-built Excel worksheet. So this is the pre-built Excel worksheet. The pivot table here is in every way the same as the pivot table from the exported smart list. The difference is that we used Power Query in Excel to pull the data without having to launch GP. Power Query is a data connection technology that enables you to connect to different data sources, including GP, and refine it to meet your reporting needs. So let's take a look at that. So if we click on Show Queries, which we have, you'll see the queries that were applied to this data source, or to this data. Double-clicking it, right, we'll open the Power Query editor. So we use Query to connect to the sales transactions in GP and refined it by showing only the undelivered sales orders, the customer names, and the requested ship dates. Okay. Now the cool thing about the Power Query editor is that it can show you the applied steps you've taken to get to the refined data that you see here in the table. So by clicking on the previously applied steps, you can go back to see what the data looked like before you applied, say, date formats, right? Or maybe you want to go back and see what it looked like before you filtered the report on just the sales orders, and so on. Then when you click on Close and Load, you'll see the data in the table, which is where the pivot table is working off of. And that was sales forecasting using Excel. By using Power Query, you can report on future revenue without having to launch GP to help you and your company make sound business decisions. For more information on all things Microsoft Dynamics GP, please visit us at www.profit.ca.
Financial reporting for the CFO. Do you wish your financial reporting system would generate a cash flow statement automatically? Have you been told that you cannot make a cash flow from operations statement within Dynamics GP or by using Management Reporter? Keep watching to see how it's done. I've launched my Management Reporter, and this tool links into my Microsoft Dynamics GP. I'm going to look in my base period 4 and my base period 2027, which is where my Fabricam fake American company data is. Your company will be able to look at current periods, obviously. So I'm going to show you the report as it stands, and then we'll look at how the report gets generated. So here we can see I've got April, I've got year to date, I've got my net income from operations, then I add back my depreciation, deduct my sources of cash, or add my sources of cash, depending if I have a positive or minus, and then look at my finance operations. Add in the cash for the beginning of the period, and I have a balanced cash flow statement. Now, what wizardry is going on in the background here? We need to look at our row format. And we're making use of account categories. And where we need to get clever is on the transactions where we need to look at the beginning balance. So we're adding in a row modifier, and we're going to add in the account modifier of /BB. That's going to pull my beginning balance instead of pulling a net change. Over on my column format, I make use of a calculation formula and some non-printing columns. I'm also going to pull in my column format my year-to-date beginning balance. So I have a periods covered, and I'm going to pull the beginning balance here so that I can then subtract that from my year-to-date. That again gives me a net change calculation without doing a bunch of work. So all the heavy lifting is done inside Management Reporter. We have our net change calculation, and we have our beginning balances. I don't have to do any formulas in Excel. I don't have to do any linking in Excel. Management Reporter does all of the work for me. For more information about Microsoft Dynamics GP or Management Reporter, please visit Profit Business Group's website at www.profit.ca.